Steve, yet another game against Israel. Just how crucial and how tough will this one be?
Well, I think recent experience tells you that it's probably going to be a tight game. Not a lot between the two countries. Good game, I think, a good technical game. One we're looking forward to. This time we've got something a little bit different, and we've got the full house at Hampden, which we haven't had before, so I'm intrigued to see if that makes a difference.
Does that add a pressure or a responsibility for you?
Excitement for me. First time as head coach where I'll have experienced the full house at Hampden, so I know the players are looking forward to it, I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully, like I said, it just gives us that little bit extra impetus to go and get the points that we want.
Since your first game in charge against Israel, how much do you feel Scotland and Israel have improved?
Yeah, I think we've both improved, probably in equal measures. I've spoken quite a lot about how I feel that we've improved over my tenure, if you like, and I think the Israelis are the same under their coach. They've done well, they've improved. Obviously, we both had big results against Austria. Last time we a great win in Vienna, and Israel had a great result at home to Austria. So it's made it interesting. So third seed against fourth seed in the group is suddenly a big game for second place. So that's a credit to both nations.
Did you feel, I mean, you've said this early on in the group, you felt like this could be the case between Scotland and Israel and Austria. They were all in there. Is this now bearing fruit, do you feel, in this game being crucial?
I think listen, it's my first experience of being involved in a qualifying campaign all the way through where realistically we've got a chance of being in the second position. So for me it's a little learning curve as well. It's a good experience, but what I'm learning is that every game's a cup final. You need the points. So this is the next cup final. When we went to Vienna last month, it was a big night for us. We had to make sure that we got a positive result. We got a very good result. 3 points was a great return from that game. 6 points for the last camp was a great return. It's put us in control of second position, and now it's up to us to maintain that.
Obviously, Grant can't play tomorrow night, but you've got everyone else available. Does that make your selection easier, or that a little bit more difficult?
No, obviously I would like Grant to be available, but he's a rugged central defender. They tend to pick up yellow cards, so you know that along the way in a qualifying campaign you can lose some players to 2 yellow cards. Grant's the one that'll miss out for this game, available for the next one, and then my job as the head coach is to try and find the best solution with the players that we've got available.
And do you have your team in mind, or have you still got some decisions to make?
No, 100% clear in my mind.
Just again going back to the fact that as a full crowd at Hampden, does that kind of add to the excitement for you and the players that the fans are so excited again about the Scotland team and they want to be there?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's a measure of where we were and where we are now. We've improved. I think the supporters have bought into that. Okay, we had the Euros in the summer that everyone will say was a disappointment, but I think for the supporters they just enjoyed to be part of that campaign rather than sitting watching it on the television. It was nice for them to be at the games, to feel as though they were part of that whole tournament. And I think that's carried on, and the fact that we've got a full house this month and almost a full house next month, probably will be a full house against Denmark next month, tells you that the supporters are buying into this group of players, and so they should, because this group of players are doing good things for their country.
1 year ago, Steve, the semi-final, the Nations League semi-final against Israel at Hampden, can you compare tomorrow night in terms of the importance and significance of the tie?
No, I think it's just as important. Like I said, I'm learning very quickly that every game in a qualifying campaign is a very, very important game, and obviously you have to get enough points to get your objective. At the start, you always think and hope that you've got a chance to be first. Denmark have proved that they're probably a little bit above everyone else in the group. And ourselves, Austria and Israel, are fighting out for the second spot. Like I said before, we're in pole position, so it's an important game for us.
You've talked a lot about the bond between yourself and the players in the squads. International managers always talk about trying to get that club sort of atmosphere. How do this squad compare to other club sort of squads that you've been around in terms of the way that they've gelled together?
No, it's been good, but listen, it's also been a gradual process over a period over 2 years now, where you bring them together, you try to keep the nucleus of the squad together. There has been changes. If you look at the squad when I first took over, and the squad now is a lot of changes, but the nucleus, the core group, always there, and everybody that we've added to it has just given us a little bit more. So as you can hear from downstairs, they're all screaming and shouting just now. So after training, they're all sticking together. I think when I came out there was about 15, 16 in the pool, just having a little stretch and a chat. And that shows that we're all together. And I think it's very important. If you want to be successful, you need to have a group of players that want to go on that pitch and give everything for each other.
Just on Israel, Zahavi's obviously been on fire in this campaign for them. How many other threats do you need to worry about from this?
Good team. Certainly we've really good forward threats. You mentioned Zahavi, but Manor Solomon playing off the little left position finds good positions in the game. Is a really good player, as we found to our cost at times. If they play Dabur up front, he's a great target man. Weissman, I'm not so sure if he's available or not, but if he plays, he gives them another threat. Two solid midfield players and organised at the back, and a little bit similar to ourselves, I think, in terms of how they shape up the team. Is probably why the games have always been quite close between the two nations, and I expect another close game.
Steve, specifically, how have you had to mould this group of players into a formation that they're all capable of, but maybe at times has been a bit alien to them because they haven't played like this previously?
Well, it was just a gradual process that we looked at what we had. We analysed, myself, my coaching staff, look, and you think, right, what's the best way to get the best out of this group of players? The decision was to go three at the back, and then from there you try to put a little bit more meat on the bones, try to find the right players in the right positions, the right combinations, and gradually over a period of time I think we've done that, and we've got ourselves in a position where we've shown that we can go to difficult places and get results with a certain formation. Listen, I also know and recognise that there are weaknesses within the system that we play. It's up to us to make those weaknesses as few as possible and not so obvious to the opposition.
And looking at the positives then, you've had a group of players who have bought into that. Was it difficult at times to ask them to do it when it maybe was, as I say, alien to them and something not natural to them?
Yeah, I think as a coach, your job is to sell that to the players and make them believe in the system that you're trying to give them. You can't force it on them. You have to gradually show them. And if you show them that it works, they'll buy into it. And if they're getting success and they're getting results and they feel as though it's working for them, then they're quite happy to go with that. But there's also a group of players that I know if I wanted to change the system and play a different way, they would also buy into that because they want to be successful.
You're looking at a group of players who, look at Jack Henry for example, recently playing against Messi and Neymar. You've got players who are playing week in, week out, like Gilmour's in the Premier League in England. Then you've got Captain Celtic playing for you. This is a good group of players. The fact that they're all playing at that level, that must be a huge gift to yourself when you're bringing players in and they've bought into what you're trying to achieve here.
Yeah, but the credit goes to the players. Like I say, we give them an idea. They're all doing well at their clubs. They're all playing, like you say, at a good level. We've got a few captains in the squad. You know, Andy's the captain of Scotland, but there's a few other captains that are in the squad. So it shows you the level of player that we've got. But then my job as a head coach is to try and put them together, keep them together, focus on what we can achieve, and hopefully, like I said before, I think we're on the right path. And this group, with a number of caps that they're picking up, the experience they're gaining, relatively young group. I think Liam's the oldest in the group now, at just turned 30. He might just be 29. I need to be careful there in case I upset him. 29 or 30, and outside of the goalkeepers, obviously. So they're a good age. They're gaining caps. They're getting more experience, and they'll get better. And I kept saying that we will go to a team that's seeded above us and get a result, and we did that in Vienna. But that's in the past. Now we have to focus on the next one. We're playing Israel, we need 3 points. If we get 3 points in that one, we need to look at the next game after that. So, like I said before, every game at the moment feels like a little bit like a cup final.
And given that age group then, is this a group that can stay together for the next 4, 6, 8, who knows, maybe even 8 years? Hopefully, that would be great for the. I think that would be great for the country, because I really feel that we can only get better.
Steve, you talk about the formation can be flexible. Scott McTominay is one who can play in midfield or defence. With Hanley's absence, do you see him perhaps more as a centre back in this camp, or do you see him in the midfield role that he plays for Manchester United?
I see Scott wherever he plays. You know, wherever I choose to play him, I know he'll give his best for the country, as he's always done. So Scott can play both positions equally well.
Steve, just in terms of, you've talked about how the group's gelled, but when you consider what you're building here and clearly the passion that you have, how do you compare what's gone before in your career with what you're doing now?
My international career wasn't very long, so I need to talk about club experiences. They're always when you've got a happy dressing room, a group of players that want to work and be together every day and enjoy coming to their work. I think the players enjoy coming to the Scotland camps. So when you've got a group of players like that, then you have a chance of success. And certainly when you've got the quality that the players have got here, so they've got the togetherness, they've got the mental attitude to do well for their country, and they also have that bond of friendship, if you like, when they come together. So those three things can make you a better squad and a better team.